First in Ohio, TV 5. Live from Ohio's News Channel, this is TV 5 Eyewitness News with Ted Henry, Wilma Smith, John Webster with the weather, Sports Director Nev Chandler, and the Eyewitness News team. Brought to you by Ohio Edison.
Good evening. Cleveland's Mayor Michael White is expressing his outrage tonight over the savage beating of a social worker.
The victim is a man who has dedicated his life to helping the unfortunate in our community, and tonight he lies in a hospital bed very near death. 56-year-old Ralph Delaney was jumped while providing food for hungry children at King Kennedy CMHA projects late yesterday. Police say that Delaney's attackers pounded his face into the asphalt. Delaney remains in very critical condition at this hour. Doctors are giving him less than a 50-50 chance of survival. The two men who police believe jumped him were put behind bars this afternoon. Cornelius Pratt and Frank Burks are being held on felonious assault and aggravated robbery charges. A videotape camera they are said to have taken from Delaney has been recovered. Meanwhile, friends and family members are in shock over it. Carol Sexton saw her brother 2 days ago.
He's a wonderful man. He's so kind and so loving. He had so much love for everybody. I mean, he would have never even put up a fight. He would have let them have his camera. He wouldn't have tried to stop them.
He was in this parking lot here with some of the kids passing out food when two males approached him. One male picked him up and bodily threw him to the ground. The second male stole the video camera that he'd been carrying and taking pictures of the kids with, and then ran off into the projects.
In addition to helping the hungry, Delaney has also helped collect clothing for the homeless, and he is a former Catholic teacher for the Marianist Order. He also formed the Gandhi King Peace Center here in Cleveland. The Catholic Diocese has set up a fund to help continue the work that Delaney started. Contributions can be sent to the Ralph Delaney Fund for the Poor, 1027 Superior, Cleveland, Ohio, 4414114. Mayor White said that he hoped the courts would share his outrage and keep those responsible for the beatings from returning to the streets.
Another tragedy on the other side of the city tonight. 3 people were killed and at least 1 other person was injured when fire gutted this home in Lorraine. 7 people were inside the house when the fire broke out. Firefighters don't really know the cause of the blaze. The woman who owned the home escaped through a second-floor window. Several firefighters were treated for minor cuts, burns, and sprains.
Elsewhere tonight, wet roads may be to blame for a multi-car accident involving an RTA bus at West 25th and Monroe. Police say the accident appeared to be a chain reaction. There were no serious injuries. However, the bus driver was shaken up. She was taken to the hospital for observation.
And along the Shoreway, a car ended up on the concrete median. Police say the driver was cut off and swerved to avoid an accident. But because of the wet roads, he ended up straddling the median. Luckily, no one was injured.
Well, police think they found a different kind of bank robber tonight, thanks to one of Bill Youngkin's Crime Stopper reports. April Williams of Cleveland is now being held in Summit County Court tonight on fraud and theft charges. Police say that she would steal bank information from people and use it at their banks. Police say she is responsible for taking over $100,000. Now, detectives told Bill the woman said that she knew she was in trouble when she saw her picture in his report. She faces charges in both Summit and in Cuyahoga counties.
Tonight, just like every other Friday night, Cleveland police are gearing up, and they are on the watch for drivers who are drinking. Especially with the weather like this, the combination can be deadly. Last Friday night, a special police operation called the Batmobile took to the streets, testing blood alcohol levels of drivers who appeared to be intoxicated behind the wheel. In all, they made 8 DUI arrests and issued 46 traffic citations, all drinking related. Well, it's not only police who are helping to get and keep drunk drivers off the streets. Lane Tack found another rather unlikely group, nightclub owners who are doing their part with young people who may be tempted to drink and drive.
There is dancing at Club LA in North Ridgeville, but there's no drinking here. No drinking alcohol, that is.
You can be cool, you can be hip, and you can be trendy, and you don't need alcohol.
Tonight is opening night for this club that looks very much like other Cleveland clubs. In fact, Coconuts owner Gary Bauer helped put this together. It's a club for kids 15 to 18, kids who might be tempted to spend their Friday night drinking and even driving around town.
We're not doing stuff we shouldn't be doing. We're here having fun, so I enjoy it. We have an adult atmosphere. We treat our customers like adults, and in turn, we expect them to act like adults.
The kids have to obey a dress code, and the managers hope this non-alcoholic atmosphere will encourage them to be responsible if they do choose to drink when they're of age.
To get kids to come here, the managers go into the high schools, and they also work with the local chapters of SAD and MAD, trying to promote the non-alcoholic good time.
I mean, why should they have it here? We teenagers, we just want to have fun. I mean, we don't need alcohol. You can have fun without alcohol and drugs.
The club is modeled after other highly successful clubs in Los Angeles, and the owners hope this will help build a trend towards alcohol-free entertainment. In North Ridgeville, I'm Elaine Tack, Eyewitness News.
The mayor of North Ridgeville and the chief of police, for that matter, both say that they support and stand behind the club, and they are pleased that it is inside their community.
Non-alcoholic drinkers may not be affected by this, but the people who drink beer, wine, and liquor will be. We're talking about the proposed sin tax on the May 8th ballot. The money would fund the construction of the proposed Gateway Sports Complex downtown. Today, Cleveland Mayor Mike White, former Mayor Voinovich, and County Commissioner Hagan urged voters to vote yes for the sin tax. The three put aside their political differences and different parties to say the Gateway project would give a major economic lift to both the city and the county.
I think this is an important project for the future of this town. Its passage will send a major message all over the United States and, quite frankly, all over the world that Cleveland has really established its foundation.
The number one priority for, I think, us as we stand here today is to try and link arms in a nonpartisan way and to say to our citizens, ladies and gentlemen, men and women of Cuyahoga County, this is good for our community.
The Gateway project includes a stadium and arena and other developments on the old Central Market site in downtown Cleveland. A county-wide sin tax on alcohol and cigarettes would pay for the public share of the project. Now, meanwhile, a group working to defeat the sin tax says that it has raised more than $15,000 for its campaign. Virtually all of the money there comes from the United Auto Workers Union.
Changing people's basic attitudes about the environment. That's what Earth Day 1990 is all about, and it's all happening this week. Details when we come back.
And Soviet strong-arm tactics lead to fighting in Lithuania. Stay with us. As the Soviets tighten the hold in Lithuania, tempers are getting hotter, and today they exploded.
That's right. Fighting broke out today when Soviet troops made another show of force in the Baltic Republic. Red Army troops stormed a printing plant and beat up at least a dozen guards and a local lawmaker. Crowds gathered outside the building to taunt soldiers with signs reading freedom of the press. Now, some cargo moved in and out of Lithuanian shipyards today. Moscow intensified its blockade. And in addition to cutting off gas and oil, the Soviets are now cutting off imported foods like sugar. Meanwhile, the White House says President George Bush will brief Congress early next week about what he may do in retaliation.
Here in Ohio, many Clevelanders are speaking out against the oppression in the Baltic states. Today, the Baltic American Committee of Greater Cleveland staged a gathering at City Hall to show support for the people of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. The purpose was to bring light to the struggle in that region and to also have a prayer service. The flags of those countries will be on display in the City Hall Rotunda through the rest of this month.
A massive AIDS rally brought parts of New York City to a standstill today. About 50,000 protesters descended on Lower Manhattan to speak out against the proposed government policy that would prohibit Haitians from donating blood.
I'm a female student, and I read books on medicine where they teach doctors, nurses, that Asians carry this virus. We are against that, and we want them to take that out of the book, of the life of the teaching, because we are not going to serve as scapegoats for the problem.
The FDA says the pending policy is needed because AIDS is so widespread in Haiti. This is a big weekend for environmentalists and many other people who want to save the planet Earth. Sunday is Earth Day 1990, and Cleveland is getting ready for it. Today, a 40-foot-long earthworm invaded Public Square. The worm was not a real one, which you'll see here. You'll see that it's fake. There you go. Now you see it is. But it helped kick off the local festivities leading up to Sunday's 20th anniversary of Earth Day. Representatives of the Northeast Ohio Green sponsor of the event to begin the weekend. One of the places, by the way, to be on Sunday will be the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo. It is playing host to Earth Fest 90 with a special day of activities.
Well, with the 20th anniversary upon us now, we're wondering just how things changed between 1970 and 1990. For one thing, many of the events and demonstrations you'll hear about or take part in maybe this week have been in the planning stages now for months. While many in our area have volunteered their time in getting everything together, there is always the need for leaders. So tonight we introduce you to two of them as my persons of the week. April 22nd, 1970. 9 months after man landed on the moon and 2 weeks before the National Guard was sent to Kent State. Although we were a nation gripping to deal with the daily confusion wrought by change and chaos, we had not lost sight of the basic need to keep our environment clean. These demonstrations at First Earth Day right here in Cleveland prove that. 2 decades later, Earth Day has taken on an almost corporate approach, bolstered by a renewed interest in ecology. The demonstrations that mark its 20th anniversary are planned in offices like this by people who have cared for a lifetime. 2 of them are Scott Sanders and Chris Trepal, who run the Northeast Ohio Earth Day office. They say that the battle to keep up the environment is one we can win.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no question we can win it, but it's going to take a real drastic change in the way we look at these problems and the way we adjust our lifestyles.
Both Scott and Chris, who have been planning for Earth Day since November, tell me that Northeast Ohioans are well on their way to making those adjustments. They cite things like suburban recycling programs and a general increase in caring that mirrors the national trend. Still, they say there are things we must keep in mind. In a nutshell, what would you like Northeastern Ohioans to come away with and learn from Earth Day 1990?
I think our national slogan says it all, which is, who says you can't change the world? Every person can do something, and every person should do something.
And what are some of the things we can all start doing maybe tonight? Well, Chris and Scott tell us it's all very simple, really. For starters, for example, buy phosphate-free, biodegradable soaps and detergents. Don't let the water run while you're brushing your teeth or you're shaving, and use recycling services if your community offers them. Now, the phosphate-free soaps will lead to less water pollution, and turning that faucet off will save the overall water supply. Scott Sanders and Chris Trepal, my persons of the week.
Question, will our rainy, gray skies clear up for the weekend ahead of us? Don has the details in his forecast coming up next.
And later on in Eyewitness News, we're going to tell you why some people call this Christmas in April.
The great Jerry Lewis joins us to talk about his life and career. Linda Hirsch will have an update on your favorite daytime shows, and we'll find out what you can make with maple syrup Monday.
I didn't invent the old saying, a labor of love, but it sure does describe the way a lot of us feel about barbecuing. Now, if you feel that way, you know why I created my homemade KC Masterpiece barbecue sauce. It's got one-of-a-kind flavors. It brings out the best in barbecue. It's got real molasses in it, my own hand-picked spices. No cutting corners with my sauce. Talking about that homemade taste. Masterpiece says it mighty well. KC Masterpiece, one sauce that lives up to its name.
Department of Health, Education, and Welfare. The very words themselves indicate the nature of the responsibilities.
2 generations of an Ohio family answered the call of a young president. While his father served in the cabinet, Tony Calabrese served as a naval intelligence officer on land and at sea. He came home, went to the state senate, fought for a tough new ethics law, and was named one of the 5 best legislators. As Attorney General, he seized $500 million of illegal drugs and sent police to classrooms to teach kids how to stay drug-free. He's fought to enforce the death penalty and waged the toughest battle to save the environment of any Attorney General in America. He shut down toxic waste dumps and forced corporations to clean up pollution. Some people say Tony Calabrese's not flashy. He's just hardworking and effective. But just beneath the surface burns the dream of a young naval midshipman, a simple, enduring idea he shared with a young president, that government can make the lives of people better. For Governor Tony Calabrese, working hard for the people of a hard-working state.
Carol Burnett on the next Live with Regis and Kathy Lee.
Well, it's certainly damp out there. Went down to the ballpark 7:30, sat there for half an hour in the rain, and then they said, no ball game. Now, I should have known that before going because I watched your weather forecast. I was just going to say, what's the matter with you? Well, I'm an optimist. This is the unofficial opening night of the year, and I was going to make it.
We told you at 6:30 there would be no ball game tonight.
Well, officially told us at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
They needed someone to cheer them on spirit-wise.
Right.
Anyway.
I had a hot dog.
That was great.
Good for you. This is a good place to go for dinner, right? All right, let's check our numbers now and see what we had today. And it was kind of mild today. 59 was our high, 55 the low. Normals for the day 60 and 40. Last year 66 and 32. Record high was 83 set in 1985, and the record low 23 set in 1904. And in Cleveland now 57. Humidity is 100%. Barometer 30.12. Winds out of the southwest at 5. And we've had about a third of an inch of rain. Some areas almost an inch in northern Ohio during the past 24 hours. Okay, to the computer we go, and we'll find out, first of all, what our temperatures are looking like around the state. And you can see that in Cleveland, we are at 57 right now. Over in Toledo, 57. Down in Mansfield, 56. Akron and Canton, 56. Youngstown, 1 degree cooler at 55. And downstate into the 60s in some areas. And they're still hanging around 70 right down along the southernmost tip of Ohio. Well, that's not going to last too much longer because cold front is coming down and will definitely be cooling things off. Look at the rain we have. Rain everywhere. And it's going to continue off and on throughout the night, but clear out quite rapidly tomorrow, thank goodness. And we can see now the state is covered with clouds, high white clouds, which means precipitation all the time. But to the north, it's all starting to break up and clear out, and that's going to be our situation tomorrow. Here again, from way out in outer space, we see the United States with a cloud cover stretching from way up the northeastern section of Canada, right down the St. Lawrence River Valley, really, down through the southern Great Lakes and all the way down into Texas. And, boy, that's really been a rainy area down in Texas and Oklahoma and Arkansas during the past 24 hours or so. A lot of thunderstorms and heavy rain showers. Some of that rain is going to continue to be with us, not because of the system down here, but because of the cold front that is dropping down. And that has a tendency to trigger some rain shower activity. But by this time tomorrow, the front will have moved all the way to the south of us. High pressure will start to dominate our weather. That means that the airflow around the high being clockwise will send winds out of the north and cool things off just a little bit, but we will have some sunshine by tomorrow afternoon, more sunshine on Sunday and on Monday, and then we'll get back to a more southerly flow and things will really start to warm up from Sunday on. First part of the week is looking just fantastic. Tomorrow into the 60s and down southernmost part of Ohio, well, that might be stretching it a little bit, but they'll be into the 70s, at least into Kentucky, and the 80s down in the southeastern section of the country. And out west, look at this, all nice and warm, 60s, 70s, 80s, summertime type weather. Let's check our forecast now for the next 5. Looks like this. For tonight, some rain continuing with a low of 48. The outlook now for tomorrow, partly cloudy, at least by the afternoon, with the high of 60 degrees, and the sun will set at 6:39. Then for tomorrow night, clear, and we'll get down to 40. And looking ahead to the rest of our 5-day forecast for Sunday, sunshine season. Monday, more sunshine. Tuesday and Wednesday, a chance of a shower or two, but getting very, very warm. Tomorrow, 60. Sunday, 65. Monday, 70. And Tuesday and Wednesday, 72. That's the weather we like to see. And as you get up and go to work in the morning, cloudy skies and 50 degrees, but it will clear up during the afternoon and pop up to 60. Can't beat that with a stick.
So the Indians can get up and go to work tomorrow.
Yes,
they
right?
Yes. They can finally do that.
Yeah, they can. Yep.
What do we call
Providing the field rain's okay. We've had quite a bit of rain.
Yeah, I think it's in pretty good shape. What do we call it tomorrow? Opener 4?
I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't listen to the opener.
Opener D. Multiple choice.
Yeah, all right.
Take your pick. Tribe will play tomorrow, folks. Cavs play tonight. They did well. They're in the playoffs.
Good.
We'll take it. We'll take it, folks. Up next. Down in Orlando, the Cavs are going to Disney World. Well, almost. After what this team has gone through this season, a trip to the playoffs does seem a little bit like Fantasyland, and the Cavaliers have earned it. With Mark Price scoring 17 of his 19 points in the first half, the Cavs held off the Magic 118-104. They'll enter the postseason party no matter what happens at home Sunday against the Knicks. Larry Nance was rock solid tonight. He had 16 points and 15 boards. The Cavs built up a 23-point lead in the second quarter and dealt the Magic loss number 15 in a row. But the Magic made the Cavs go all 4 quarters. Jerry Reynolds popped in 23, and midway through the last quarter, the margin was down to 7. And then Craig Elo restored law and order. First on the fast break, the juggling act in midair there, putting the Cavs up by 11. And then the three-point bomb to beat the shot clock, lifting the Cavs to their 5th straight win and over the 500 mark for the first time since November 22nd. So now it is time for Disney World. All 8 of the Cavs who played tonight scored in double figures. That's pretty good balance. Playoff tickets go on sale at the Coliseum Monday morning at 9:30. Now, right now, the Cavs would open the playoffs next Thursday or Friday in Detroit, but they still have a chance to grab the number 7 playoff spot from Indiana. In that case, the Cavs would open the playoffs in Philadelphia. Now, in Market Square Arena tonight, check this. With 30 seconds to go in OT, the Pistons have pulled out in front of Indiana by 5. If Detroit hangs on for the win, the Cavs and Pacers would be tied for that number 7 playoff spot with a game to go. The Cavs win any tiebreakers there. No need for an AMS seal of approval to call the Indians game tonight. Home opener number 2 got washed by a steady rain. It'll be made up when the White Sox come back to town in September. Tom Candiotti will face the White Sox tomorrow at 1:35 with no opening day ceremonies. Those have been scrubbed forever in 1990. So in a sense, the fans here have been locked out after all. Will Pete Rose go under lock and key after pleading guilty to cheating on his income tax? We won't know the outcome of that for several weeks until a federal court judge sentences him in Cincinnati. Rose admitted in court this morning that he failed to report nearly $355,000 in income over a 4-year period. That's a felony that could land him in jail for up to 6 years. Getting into the Hall of Fame is now the least of his worries. The IRS has descended upon him like the wrath of God. The Kansas City Royals felt the wrath of the Blue Jays in the Sky Dome tonight. George Taco Bell, home run number 3 in the first inning, and the Jays won it softball style, 17-6. Fred McGriff also unloaded number 3. So did Kelly Gruber. So did Nelson Liriano. All in all, 5 home runs for the Jays tonight as they roughed up the Royals' vaunted pitching staff. We'll run down all the scores in just a minute. The Reds' bid for a 9th straight win was rained out tonight in Cincinnati. Illinois quarterback Jeff George can't believe his good fortune tonight. Indianapolis Colts have signed him to a 6-year, $15 million contract, equaling Bernie Kosar's deal and worth more than Joe Montana's current contract in San Francisco. Only Jim Kelly and Randall Cunningham are paid more. And the Colts are also giving wide receiver Andre Rison, all-pro tackle Chris Hinton, and 2 draft picks, including a number 1 next year, to the Atlanta Falcons for the rights to get George in Sunday's NFL lottery. Right now, the only similarity between George and Bernie Kosar is that neither one has been to a Super Bowl. A league record $162,500 in fines has been assessed against the Pistons and 76ers for last night's brawl. Joe Lambier and Charles Barkley were each docked $20,000 and suspended for a game, and both teams were fined $50,000 apiece for failing to control their players. Lambier served his suspension tonight. Barkley's comes on Sunday. Too bad they didn't have to sit out a playoff game. The Crunch gave it a good try at the Coliseum tonight. Michael King scoring the hat trick. Cleveland rallied to tie Baltimore after being down 3-0, but to no avail. The Blast won it anyway. Here's a tying goal off the foot of Hector Marinero with just 15 seconds to go in regulation play. But alas, in OT, Freddie Thompson of the Blast gets the game winner. Kind of how the Crunch's season has gone all along. Their finale comes up Sunday night. Canton Akron, a winner in Williamsport tonight, big time, 12-1. Mike Curtis striking out 9. And we go to the Mill has been grinding away tonight. We had a couple of unconfirmed reports that the Browns had traded Greg Riccozzi to the Denver Broncos. Not so. We checked with Ernie Accorsi of the Browns. No trade has been made. No deal is imminent. However, sources in Denver tell us the Browns and Broncos have talked about Riccozzi, but haven't been able to make a deal yet. So I don't know, maybe something is brewing, but not right now anyway.
Not officially.
Something could happen Sunday. Anything could happen Sunday in the draft.
All right. Well, coming up on Eyewitness News, a look at the why and where of Christmas in April.
Stay with us.
And Ozaki, all in very good shape. Jack Nicklaus heads a cluster of 5 at 2 under par. Craig Stadler was a frisky walrus today with a 70. And also in red numbers is this foursome at -1. You see some pretty big names here, and the play this weekend should be fascinating. When the Indians open the season next Tuesday, well, you'll see Carlos Baerga and Joey Bell on the lakefront, and also pitchers Al Nipper and Kevin Wickander. Yes, Nipper and Wickander made the 12-man staff for the month of April when the Indians sent Jeff Shaw, Doug Robertson, and Doug Sisk back to the minor leagues in their final roster cut of spring training. Shaw and Robertson going to Colorado Springs. And Nipper was roughed up today in Tempe, but got the win anyway thanks to 7 Tribe doubles, including a pair each off the bats of Corey Snyder and Carlos Baerga, and a Doug Jones save. Mitch Webster homered. The Indians are 9-4 in the Cactus League, and they play the Cubs in Mesa tomorrow and then break camp. Catcher Joel Skinner has been the hitting sensation of the spring lately. Skinner is now 11 for 19 in the desert. It's probably a mirage, but let's hope not. This season has become a trek in Death Valley for the Crunch with no canteen. 4 blast goals in the fourth quarter tonight sent the Crunch down to their 5th loss in the last 6 games, and the playoffs for them, I think, probably will be a mirage. So now we go to the scoreboard, an update on Stanley Cup action, and more. We like Ted's diplomacy and saying that after the age of 30, you know, the wake-up call is a little bit later on Saturday morning. But,
Well, for me, it is
right.
just past 30.
just a little bit. Yeah, not too far.
Didn't say how much, but it is past.
That's fair.
I'm telling the
That's
truth.
fair. That's right. All right, he's becoming quite a friend of the rich and the powerful.
Past 30, past 40, past 44. Michael Jackson pays another house call. The story when we come back.